Excellent. Well, it's 6 o'clock, and I want to welcome each and every one of you to our quarterly district-wide membership, new member and sponsor orientation Zoom meeting. And again, my name is Andy Hagan. I'm our district membership chair, and my term is for 3 years. So I'll be serving for 2024 through 2027 to assist you as members and all of our clubs to help grow Rotary, which in that regard, we'll be able to increase our reach and our impact. Next slide. And here we have, I just want to take a brief moment to introduce the district membership team. Headed by me as a district membership chair. Debbie, who is facilitating tonight, she's our membership Olympic champion. And we'll talk briefly about that towards the end of our session and how the Olympic membership challenge becomes the club membership plan to help grow Rotary. Luis Cavazos, many of you may recognize him as our past district governor from last year. He provides support when we get internet leads. He's our internet lead coordinator, and we get these leads. They're derived through the Rotary.org. Many of prospective members use that particular link once they've seen commercials and what have you, and express an interest to join Rotary. Darlene Peterson from the Rotary Club of Los Fresnos is our membership learning facilitator. And she's not here tonight, but I just wanted to recognize her as well. Karina Martinez is our district alum chair. She's responsible for making outreach and talking with students that have been former RILA, perhaps global scholars and group study exchange and different individuals that have been beneficiaries of our Rotary programs, and then trying to encourage them to join our rank and file. Stanley Petrides, he's our lieutenant governor for Rotaract and Interact clubs, and he's based here in Brownsville out of the Brownsville Sunrise Club. We also want to introduce Sonia Quintero. She's our DEI and B, which stands for diversity, equity, inclusion, and most important, belongingness. And she's the chair of all things related to DEI and B. Donald Henderson is a new club development advocate. What does that mean? He assists me for those prospective clubs or clubs that are thinking about sponsoring and chartering a new club. He's done this back about 5 years ago with the Rotary Club of Los Fresnos, and they had an unbelievable success and were able to charter within the confines of 6 months. So again, he's a really, really great advocate for new club development. Last but not least, we have Laura Vargas. She's a membership activities coordinator. So what her specialty is when there are major activities, your fundraisers or community service projects and the like, what she does is determine how can we bring that membership component into those activities so that you're not only just conducting maybe the fundraiser or your hands-on community service projects, but also attracting new members. Thank you, Andy. Next slide. And here today, we have an agenda. We're going to talk a little bit about the big picture. Let's say that 30,000 foot perspective. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of Rotary International and how it came to be. Then we're going to visit a little bit about the District 5930, our roles as leaders at the district level and resources available to you. And then we'll terminate or end promptly at 7. But before then, we'll have a Q&A. Next slide. And so really, Rotary is an international grassroots. It's basically a member and service organization. It started in 1905, and it's governed by a board of directors comprised of a Rotary International president, a president-elect, a general secretary, and 17 zone directors. We're comprised of 1.4 million members, and we talk about 1.4 Rotary members because with the last council legislation, we recognize Rotaract. Those are adults, young adults and professionals, 18 and older, that maybe wanted to form up a Rotaract club and then later transition into Rotary, but they make up a good 200,000 members. So we're now, instead of the 1.2 that many of you have heard about, we're at 1.4 million members, representing over 500 districts worldwide in 166 countries, 46,000 clubs, and of course, Rotary International, we would refer to it as RI going forward. Thank you. Next slide, Andy. And in the beginning, February 23rd, 1905 was the first Rotary Club. It was founded by our Rotary founder, Paul Harris. And that was critical. It was 5 members, and they rotated between their businesses and their homes, creating networking and reasons for having business alliances and what have you. So it started really as a membership type of a gathering, and then later evolved into a service organization. And of course, we're proud to say that Rotary International is the first international worldwide humanitarian organization in the world. In 1917, the Rotary Foundation was created, and so that's when the service component came in. In 1932, we had the four-way test that many of you recite at the end or beginning of your club meetings. In 1985 is when Rotary became vested in Rotary's Polio Plus program to eradicate polio worldwide. In 1989 or when membership was open to women, and thank goodness for that. And in 2022, we had our first woman RI president. Next slide. And here we're just saying Flushing with Pride in Chicago, and you say, what is that all about? That was in 1907 was the first public service project, which was a comfort station created for the public, because in those days, if you had to use a restroom, you're either a patron of the local businesses or you had to frequent the restaurants, and there were no comfort stations made available to the public. So this was one of the first ventures that Rotary undertook. Next slide. Here's Rotary's vision statement. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And if you see the emboldened, together people create change. We pride ourselves on the fact that we are people of action. And if anything's meant to be, it's up to you and me to get this done. And of course, remember that it's not only in our local communities, but our communities at large. Thank you, Andy. Next slide. The object of Rotary, we'll touch upon this. These are some of the first is developing friendships for service, some of the purposes for Rotary and why prospective members join Rotary. Second, for high ethical standards in business and professions. Third is to apply service in each Rotary member's life, business, and community. And fourth, promoting and advancing international understanding, goodwill, and peace, for which we're known about. Next slide, Andy. And the four-way test that many of you will recite during your club meetings of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? And third, does it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? These are some of the guides, the guiding light, if you will, from which we all aspire, and I personally daily try to adhere to be the best that we can be, and in representing Rotary. Thank you, Andy. Next slide. So Rotary's areas of focus, where this comes in is that our Rotary Foundation, and we'll touch upon that later in this session, has developed 7 areas of primary focus. And each of them are in an action type of a word or verbiage, and like peace building and conflict prevention, as well as resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation and hygiene, fostering and supporting maternal and child health, supporting basic literacy and education throughout the world, developing community, looking at ways that we can improve community economic development, as well as most recent one that was onboarded is protecting and safeguarding our environment. So these are some of the primary areas of focus that many, many clubs and districts worldwide will focus on as they utilize the funding and support from our Rotary Foundation. Next slide, Andy. We're going to talk a little bit about Rotary action groups. And so at this time, I'd like to turn our program over to Debbie High, past district governor. And Debbie, take it away.
Thank you, Andy. So Rotary action groups are independent, internationally organized Rotary affiliated groups whose members have expertise in a specific concentration. And they use their expertise to help clubs and districts plan and implement large-scale community development and humanitarian service projects in the area of their expertise. And on the next slide, you'll see some of the most the Rotary action groups. So most action groups view themselves not only as a specific subject matter resource, but as resources in an area of focus. So anyone who wants to share their expertise to make a positive difference may join an action group. When I said anyone, however, only Rotarians, Rotaractors, and Rotary Peace Fellows may serve in leadership roles. And later on, we can put in a link in chat that will allow you to get some more information, but we'll also make this PowerPoint available because you can just Google search Rotary Action Groups and you can find some that might be of interest to you to joining. Sometimes there's a minimal cost just because they have the upkeep of, for example, a website. A lot of them meet virtually around the world and sometimes in person. So the next one you'll see are fellowships. So Rotary fellowships are international groups that share a common passion or interest. So on the next slide, you'll see somebody that has an interest in scuba diving, for example. And being part of a fellowship is a fun way to make friends around the world, explore a hobby or profession, enhance your Rotary experience. And fellowships are an added benefit, I like to say, of our membership. So there are over 120 Rotary fellowships. So if you're interested in learning more about fellowships, again, we'll put a link in the chat that will take you directly to the fellowships. It might be something in writing, reading, wine is a popular one, beer, whiskey, you're getting a theme there, but also things like quilting. There's an International Fellowship of Quilting, and so just all sorts of different fellowships. So another benefit to being a Rotarian. The next one, Andy mentioned our Rotary Foundation. So the Rotary Foundation, I like to say our foundation, offers a wide variety of options to financially support the many activities Rotary undertakes. From its signature initiatives working towards the eradication of polio, and some of you, if you were in the Kingsville area, might have just seen the folks come through riding this weekend to end polio, raise awareness, and also raise funds for polio, because they actually got a police escort through Kingsville and all throughout our district. And so or to providing emergency relief funds when disaster strikes, like we just saw in Florida. It can also happen globally because our Rotary Foundation is fully engaged globally. The Rotary Foundation is one of the highly respected charities according to the independent watchdog Charity Navigator, and the Rotary Foundation has earned the highest rating, 4 stars, by Charity Navigator as an independent evaluator of charities in the USA consecutively for at least the last 15 years in the top 1%. The Rotary Foundation earned the recognition for adhering to sector best practices and executing its mission in a financially efficient way, demonstrating both a strong financial health and commitment to accountability, sustainability, leadership capacity, and transparency. The Rotary Foundation transforms our gifts into service projects that change lives both close to home to support local causes and projects around the world. And your generous contributions to the Rotary Foundation are essential to securing and growing Rotary programs throughout the world. An interesting project that literally just happened this weekend that involves multiple countries, 4 different Rotary districts, and multiple clubs around the world is in Baffin Bay. And a lot of times we see international global projects happen outside of the United States. But as we know, we're trying to look towards opportunities especially with our new area of focus that Andy talked about in getting our bay healthy. So a great new project just happened. We'll have to update with some pictures of that, Andy, on this because it literally just happened on Saturday. And there was some planting and some steps towards helping to make Baffin Bay more a healthier bay. So that's kind of exciting to see something right in our own backyard. The next thing I wanted to talk about is an opportunity that happens each year, and that's the Rotary International Convention. So each May or June, Rotary International holds a worldwide convention to stimulate, inspire, and inform all Rotary members in an international forum. And it truly is an awesome event. And our upcoming RI convention is in Calgary, Canada in June 2025. And you can register using the links to join thousands of Rotarians and Rotaractors from around the world for a truly inspiring experience. That's when a lot of fellowships and Rotary action groups meet also. So the Rotary International Convention, again, is a perfect opportunity for new opportunities through Rotary. The Rotary Convention is where you'll find people of action from around the world, brainstorming solutions to some of the most pressing challenges and creating opportunities for works of service that create lasting change. The convention is where you'll renew connections, discover fresh perspectives, and create unforgettable moments to enduring relationships. So this year's Calgary, in 2026 is Taipei, Taiwan. In 2027 is Honolulu, Hawaii, which I know several people on here are looking forward to because that was one that went virtual during the COVID timeframe. 2028 is in Manila, the Philippines. 2029 is in Minneapolis. And we also have Chicago, Illinois, which is the birthplace of Rotary in 2030. So a great opportunity. I'm seeing some things in chat. Hawaii, yay, because a lot of people had to cancel their plans on going to Hawaii. So it's just a great, great amount of fun. So we've talked about districts and zones a little bit. And on the next, I just want to show you a map. And Andy kind of looked at the structure because we do need some support and a little bit of structure to us, but also clubs are an opportunity to do what serves their needs, meets best in the community. But we are districts, and we're District 5930, 5930. And as Andy mentioned, there are over 500 districts around the world. And this is an area of where we're located as one of 23 districts that comprise our paired Rotary zones, 25B and 29, to form Region 36 in North America. So we have a director, and Andy mentioned those 17 directors. And so we do have a director that's selected every 2 years, volunteer positions, and they are our directors from Mexico, just started on July 1 as the new Rotary year. So that's a little bit, you can see how we skip a little bit through Oklahoma there and then go up all the way into Canada. But it's another opportunity to get together. There was just what's called a Zone Institute, and that was in San Antonio. So there are opportunities to get together too with our zone. And there will be an opportunity to get together with our zone in Calgary as well. So next one I wanted to show you, especially if you're newer to 5930, which is why we wanted to have you here tonight, is because 5930, there exist our Rotary clubs, again, for trained leaders, helping with membership recruitment, assisting with Rotary grants, both locally and internationally, helping clubs to promote public image and media exposure. And in South Texas, we're as south as you can get. We're a Rotary District, as I said, 5930, 5930, and it's made up of close to 1,500 members, and we have over 50 clubs from the most southern tip of Texas, and you can see how we go up to an area called El Campo, right before El Campo, which is then another Rotary District. So you can see how spread out we are to Laredo and such. So I just wanted to get Jeff a feel for how spread out our district is, which is an opportunity to get together, but also an opportunity in Zoom where we can get together. So we have people from Laredo all the way to Victoria this evening, and I'm in San Antonio, so that's a lot of fun. The Rotary District's led by a district governor, and the district governor serves from our Rotary year, which is 1 July to June 30th. And again, that's a volunteer position. And the district governor is the official representative of Rotary International. A governor's mission is to lead clubs, inspire members, and engage the public in the important role fulfilled by Rotary in our community. And our governor, some of you hopefully have gotten an opportunity to meet at maybe one of your club visits, or maybe you did just this weekend, because she was riding around this weekend, not on a motorcycle, but helping to support the polio moto ride. And our governor, as we affectionately call Dr. Z, is Dr. Zara Sarai, and she's a member of the Rotary Club of Southside Corpus Christi. So, and if you're on Facebook, she's posting quite a bit too about the activities, and we'll talk about some of the other resources for you to see what's going on in the district, which is our website. And thanks for bringing that up, Andy Z. So our district website is rotary5930.org. And it's where you can learn more about what's going on around our district, see what innovative fundraisers and projects are being done outside of your club and learn more about special district initiatives. Your club secretary will or should have provided you with access to your club's website if applicable. Not every club has a website, but will provide you, because everybody does have access to the District 5930 website, and there's a member login area. So for example, if you weren't sure how to get a hold of somebody, as long as they've in this private area have selected, like, for example, my cell phone number is there because I've selected to share it, and so is my email, so you can get a hold of me very easily. But there's a member login area, so you'll want to make sure if your club secretary hasn't given you access to, if you have a club website and also the district one, they can get you that, and that'll give you lots of information. So I wanted to talk now just a little bit about our district leadership team, which is serving alongside you. And the district governor, as I mentioned, is responsible for all our clubs in our district. And we have, it's exciting because when you total it up, we have over 100 Rotarians serving at the district on some capacity on its leadership team each year. And probably more than that, because there's some that serve on committees and may not serve as the committee chair. And the district governors are selected 2.5 years in advance of their official term. And they go through extensive facilitated learning opportunities to better serve our members. That's us. And this is, again, as I mentioned, is a volunteer position, something they do because of the passion that they have for service above self and for just helping us do the great projects that we do in our district and serving our clubs. The district governor-elect is the year behind the current governor. Sometimes we call them the DGE. And the district governor nominee, or the DGN, is right behind the elect. So the district governor nominate designee is selected in December. I think this year it's going to be in January. So there'll be an announcement coming out shortly about the qualifications to select the next governor. And that will follow, then they'll become the nominee. So you can see there's a lot of that goes in. It's not just that they're appointed, just like your club would select a president and a president-elect, sometimes a president nominee, so that they have some years to get ready for that. The next thing that is coming up, and I wanted to share, is we are part of what's called the Rotary Leadership Institute. And it's a training per se, and it's an opportunity to grow your knowledge about Rotary, to expand your leadership skills. But it's fun because it's not only for brand new members, but I'm part of the Lone Star division, of which our district is a member of. And we just had someone on completing, because there's a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3. And we just had somebody completing part 3, and they'd been in Rotary over 45 years. And they were as excited as probably the first day that they joined Rotary, and maybe even more because they learned some things about Rotary that they hadn't known about, and maybe it changed from when they first joined Rotary. So there are opportunities, and there's the QR code and also a website there. You can go to our website and you can find out the courses. And I'm excited to announce that in Brownsville, coming up on Saturday, November 9th, will be RLI Part 1. So anybody would like to come, you can register for that, and we'll put that registration link in there too. But we'd love to see you there. That's an opportunity to do it in person. And then at the division side, again, which we're a part of the Lone Star division, we just finished up Part 1, 2, and 3. We actually had some that want to serve as faculty, and they reached out to Andy Hagan, and because he's our RLI chair also. And so we just had 3 new faculty members join our team. And then in January and February, if virtual and small chunks is meets your schedule, you can start, like if you want to take part 1 in Brownsville and then take part virtually with us, you have that opportunity too. But I know we're looking at hopefully having a part 1, 2, and 3, but they are taken in order. But that's something, it's a great opportunity. And several on this call are actually graduates. You might just take part 1, but you will learn a lot of fun things about Rotary and get some opportunities just to practice some different leadership skills and share your knowledge with us too. So that's what I have to share. And now I'm going to turn it back to Andy Hagan.
Thank you, Debbie, and great work, great job. And now we're looking at different ways. It's segue that Debbie had just mentioned with Rotary Leadership Institute training. I wanted to just stop for a moment and, look at a recent survey that was conducted by Rotary International, and it asked the question, why do people join Rotary? Why would you want to join Rotary? Some of the more predominant reasons, three of the more major ones. One was the opportunity to learn and enhance your leadership skills and leadership development. The second was the opportunity to network and the opportunity to experience that fellowship, if you will. And then thirdly, probably most importantly, is that opportunity to have the ability to hands-on service projects. So with that, when you look at this particular slide, you're invited to any of our district sponsored events. It's open to all members. And if we take that first component or grouping, district learning forums, this is where we offer that Rotary Leadership Institute training. So you have the opportunity to network, to enhance your leadership skills, communication skills, organization skills, and the likes. As for club leader events, realize that each year our district will provide district assembly. It's like a leadership forum where we bring together all of the club leadership and those members that may be interested in becoming a leader within your own club. It's not restricted, but this is where you would have your president-elects, your presidents, the foundation chair in your club, the membership chair, and or public imaging chairs all attend that assembly to learn more about their roles and responsibilities. Also, there's one leadership summit that we just completed in Laredo this past September, and it brought together many of the members representing these different lanes or vocations within the club or disciplines within the club in order to foster and promote the idea of working together collaboratively. That is foundation, membership, and public imaging all at the same time, that triology that Debbie speaks about many, many times and so often, leveraging your strengths to make even more of an impact, and most importantly, sharing your stories, not only with the members in your club, but with members in your communities. So that's very, very important. And I see we are joined today by our district governor, Zara Sorani, and I want to give her an opportunity to speak a little bit about our upcoming events. There's a district-sponsored foundation and membership service celebration, as well as a district conference planned later this Rotary fiscal year. So Dr. Z, if you'd like to unmute and take it away, we'll give you some time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Andy and Debbie and Andy Zamaripa and all the committee members and the new Rotarians. I see some of you are new Rotarians and some of them are seasoned. So again, welcome everyone. And it's great to see everyone here. All right. Okay. I know there's so much information coming your way. So please feel free towards the end. Let us know the feedback and how we can more tailor it for the next time and the time after. Two things I want to let you know or share with you. Again, Thursday is October 24th. It's a World Polio Day, and Rotary was one of the first one in 1985, 1988 timeframe that took upon itself that to eliminate polio from this world. So far, we have saved 21 million from paralysis and vaccinated 3 billion children around the globe. So that's a big number, but that's what Rotary does. And, when you join Rotary, this is all about service. So just wanted to highlight because we just got this update in an earlier meeting. That's why I joined this meeting a little late because I was at the other meeting from the zone and they shared these numbers. So again, World Polio Day, and it only takes $3 with the vaccination to vaccinate a child. It's only $3. So again, October 24th, I will highly encourage everybody to do some kind of an event or participate in your club events, or if you want to join or become a Polio Plus Society member, that is only a contribution of $100 a year. So again, this is one thing. And as Andy Hagan, our past district governor, shared that we have events that we do throughout the year. So the next event we are coming up is on 16th November. November is a foundation month, and we are encouraging all the foundation in membership. So in November 16th, we are not only recognizing our foundation major donors, but also membership. So whoever is in Rotary for 15 years and up, we are trying to encourage them. We are encouraging everybody. And I send an email to everybody. If you're on you have a correct email address in file with your club, you must have received an email from me inviting you to join us on this foundation and membership recognition event happening in Harlingen on November 16th. So this is, again, great event. We have a director coming in from the Rotary International, and a lot of positive things will be happening that day. So please join us and be part of that event. And come April, that's where we culminate like the year-end celebrations with recognition, member recognition, club recognition, all the membership Olympics, initiative that we have started this year. So everything is going to be a celebration mode in April. And I know one of my team member, Dr. Amanda Garcia, and Marjorie and John Owen are the event chair. So Amanda, thank you for helping me out for that in the end of the year conference. And I know Marjorie, I don't see her, but John Owen, those three are the members that are going to help us put the conference together at the end of the April, the last weekend. And we are working on a lot of great events that's going to be happening starting from Friday and Saturday, evening events, day events. So we are putting a phenomenal program, and we'll share more details when it's get finalized with the entire district. So back to you, Andy. If anybody has any question, please let me know. Otherwise, I will hand it back to Andy.
Thank you so much, District Governor Zara, and thank you for joining us this evening. I know you've had a busy schedule. As a matter of fact, when we talk about how does the foundation, public imaging, and membership all work together, realize that just this past weekend, we had the Rotary Polio Motor Ride, where Michael Dickerson led a whole brigade of motorcycles started in Laredo, passing through the valley and up towards Kingsville, through Harlingen, up towards Kingsville, and then into Corpus, up into the Port Lavaca area, Victoria, and then back to Laredo. So these are just some of the ways that we leverage not only that public imaging, but encouraging not only our Rotary members, but the public at large to contribute to the eradication of polio. It was a promise we made over 30 years ago as a Rotarians. And,
And Andy, just want to chime in while you mentioned that. So again, I think this weekend was a very busy weekend because in the morning, as our past district governor, Debbie shared that we had the Global Grant Project in Sarita Elementary School. And that is one of the projects that a lot of Rotarian came out early in the morning, and we did a lot of planting, and it's a grain garden. And that is focusing towards the 7th area of focus of Rotary, that is environment. So we did that. And then my husband and I were able to go around with Mike Dickerson. We joined him in Arlington. We went to different clubs on Saturday and then again on Sunday. So we were with him and the entire riders. And the thing is that out of all those riders, 3 were Rotarian and all the rest were non-Rotarian. So this is a great public image because we are encouraging the public, the non-Rotarians to come and join us in this great cause to eliminate polio from this world. And again, this was a great public image because we did got a lot of the newspaper were there in Brownsville, and the way the police escorted us in different cities. Like Rotary stops traffic. That's what I said. I was running red light because you were with the police escort. So everybody goes together, and it was red light, and we were running the red lights all the way. So it was a good feeling to able to break the law with the help of a police. So we had a great fun, and I will highly encourage next year for different clubs and members to be part of it because it's a great camaraderie and great learning. And again, great cause. Thank you. Back to you, Andy.
Thank you, Governor Zara. This, it's so much action packed each and every month. This is just examples of how Rotary and through your giving to generous giving and contributions to the foundation are put to work. And again, realize that for polio specifically, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matches your contribution 2 to 1. So it just multiplies that impact because we definitely want to make sure that we're protecting each and every child going worldwide. And this would be only the 2nd disease in the world to be eradicated, and first being smallpox. So thanks again for sharing, Dr. Z. And next slide, if you would, Andy. So how do we...
And NDH, before we get going, we had a good question is, how do they make a donation to for the polio?
Yes.
So I did put a link in there, but you might just want to talk about how they do make a donation for
Sure,
polio.
there's a number of ways that you can make contributions to our Rotary Foundation. Remember, the Rotary Foundation has been rated by Charity Navigator as a 4-star for over 16 consecutive years. That's the top 1% of all 501c3s throughout the nation. So again, in good standings, the idea that you get a four-star rating indicates that our trustees have, the board of trustees have done their best to be good stewards, the fiduciary responsibility, transparency, and on how the monies are spent. And anytime I contribute, I would look to see what percentage of that dollar that I contribute actually goes to the cause versus to have administrative and what have you. And so again, very, very successful. Do consider supporting our Rotary Foundation. You can give by going to rotary.org, and there's so many call to action buttons: donate now or give. If you hit that, you can make it, it's easy. You can sign up for Rotary Direct, indicate that you want to make a credit card contribution, either monthly, quarterly, or one time. You can also call Rotary International, their contact center, and make a, just identify yourself, and then they'll take the payment over the phone. So there's a number of ways. And in many instances, your club, through your club foundation chair and the club treasurer, you can make donations through your club to the foundation as well. But when you do go direct, you're being tracked. It makes the administration very, very easy. So we would encourage you to be more familiar, become familiar with how to give by going and visiting rotary.org. And then Polio Plus, like I said, is matched 2-to-1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates, and that money's put right to use in not only to provide the surveillance that needs to go on to make sure that they identify the hotspots throughout the country. Remember, there's only 2 countries left that are endemic. It's Pakistan and Afghanistan, and we need to get this done. And we're really, really close. So thank you for your support and the time vested, and thank you for all the people that were involved with organizing the Rotary of Polio motor ride, because that was a phenomenal event. It just happened this particular weekend. When we talk about how to maximize your membership, realize that for most of us, it's not enough just to attend our meeting and have, at the lunch or breakfast or even the dinner, and feel like that we're engaged. So true engagement happens when you're not only passionate about something, but you're doing something that fulfills you, that hands-on service component. And to maximize your membership, think about the impact you can make on others through your community service and through, lending of your skills and of your experience in any of these ways. And I think one of the things for clubs to have that high level, if you have attained that high level of engagement, is linking the passion of your members with the objectives and goals of your club. And then that becomes more relevant, and it also attracts others to your club and wanting to join Rotary. So that would be great. Another step forward is, extend that hand of friendship, as we say, to invite prospective Rotarians or members of perhaps of your community, your family, and or business associates, clients, vendors, and the like, and invite them to either a club service project, to your fundraiser, or your club meetings, to let them learn more about what we do, why we do it, and who we are as Rotarians and Rotary members. It's an excellent way for them to become more familiar. And then finally, there's a lot of communication that has been brought forth and available through Rotary International. They actually provide Rotary minutes. So in your clubs, the Rotary membership chair can have a Rotary minute, just like the foundation chair could give a foundation minute, just to help bring forth and create awareness in the club for your members and for those guests and visitors more about what we do and why we do what we do. Next slide. And then we talked a little bit earlier about resources. We have a Facebook, the district has a Facebook, and Rotary International has opportunities to link. You've seen the commercials, local commercials. I've had relatives and friends come to me and say, what a phenomenal commercial we just saw. And many of those, that messaging is now filtrating into prospective Rotarians going through the rotary.org, signing up as what we call an internet lead, expressing an interest, and then sharing with us their background, their age, their likes, their skills, and what their preference is as to where they would like to seek out a club in their immediate area. And when we received that lead, and I say we because it comes simultaneously not only to District Governor Sarah Serrani, but to me, as well as to Luis Cavazos, who is our Internet Lead Coordinator. We then go to the assistant governors in the area. We provide them that name and the contact information necessary, share a little bit about the likes and wants, and have them reach out to those leads in a timely fashion to see if we can't sync up the time and date where they can meet what's convenient to them. And as members, we want to make sure that our meetings are convenient for those prospective members and current members, and that each of our clubs has a personality and a club culture. I had an opportunity once during it was actually a multi-district event sponsored in Austin, and we were sitting around the bar waiting to go to our next facilitative session. And I met with a young lady there at the bar, and we started talking a little bit. She was going to order some food, and she said, "Man, y'all have so much energy. And what is this organization you belong to?" I said, "Well, it's Rotary. Do you know much about Rotary?" She goes, "Oh, I'm looking into joining Rotary." And I said, "Oh, really? Has someone invited you to a Rotary Club meeting?" And she said, "Yes, but I'm dating right now. I'm doing a club dating." And that kind of put me back a little bit. I go, "What does that mean, that you're club dating?" And she goes, "I'm checking out each club to see what they do and how service minded they are and what activities to see the right fit for me." And I thought, I wonder if my club would hit that expectation bar. So when we talk about bi-directional communication, clubs, as club members and club leaders, we have an expectation of our prospective members, but so do our members. And that's where we want to lend a voice to our members so that we can be the best that we can be. And there's many different ways of channeling that through membership assessments and to actually club visioning, of which Mary McQueen is our district club visioning coordinator. We're actually going to undergo a club visioning for the Rotary Club of Harlingen North tomorrow. They wanted to do it during the week. So we'll be meeting at 8 and concluding at 1. And for more information, we can share that in the chat as well. They have Instagram. We've got club locators that's located on the myrotary.org. And if you can see these here, you maybe take your mobile, your phones and take a snapshot of this. And you can see the websites that are there for your use as resources as available. And I can't emphasize enough the importance of establishing a My Rotary account within Rotary.org. You'll sign on, join, and establish your My Rotary account. It's very easy. You just need your email address and you set up your password, and it will open up a whole new world for you under Rotary.org. It will connect you with learning centers. And, Rotary has spent quite a bit of money in putting resources together for an interactive learning center, whether you're interested in membership, public imaging, foundation, club administration. There's just so much out there that that become available to you through Rotary.org and your My Rotary account. You'll be able to track your contributions to the Rotary Foundation, how much you've given perhaps to the annual fund, the polio eradication and polio plus.
Out for a minute.
So be sure to visit. Next slide, Andy. Now we're going to open it up briefly as we're coming into the last and final stretch before 7 o'clock. Q&A. This is your time to ask anyone on our panel. And thank you again, Dr. Z, for being here today. But we have Debbie here, Andy Zamaripa. I saw Laura. We mentioned earlier that Laura Vargas is here as well as part of our committee. We have Stan Petritis from our membership committee. He's our Lieutenant Governor of Rotaract and Interact. We're going to open this up to you so that you can just ask questions and we will provide those answers. If you do have a question, you can go to the React button and hit your raise hand, and that'll bring you up to the top and we'll call on you. And don't be bashful. This is your time now. Anybody at all? We must have done a pretty good job, Debbie, Andy, covering the bases. And remember that this orientation is not intended to compete with your club, new member and sponsor orientations. It's here to complement it, gives you the higher level, and then your clubs can gather up, take you to their individual, what their goals, their objectives, and what you do within the club. So again, these are opportunities for you just to learn a little bit more, and our opportunity to get to know you and impart more about Rotary. So we want to thank you for this time that you're investing here this evening in order to become a part of this. And we also want to give a shout out to all of our new members, because it's with your help. You're the face of Rotary. They say the most important position in Rotary, believe it or not, is the club president's position, and then the club leadership supports them and the member body supports them. But the most important person in Rotary is you, new members and sponsors. Thank you again. I want to personally thank you because you've extended that hand of friendship. You've invited people to come in and join us. You're helping to build that capacity to improve and increase our impact and our networking to get the job done. And, through community assessments and the like, you're going to make a bigger impact when there's more of us to share that responsibility. So this is so important. I'm proud to say if I was in a club meeting right now and they were asking for, happy dollars or bragging and this and that and the other, there's like Debbie said earlier this in the session, that we're a paired zone. It's 25B and 29, which extends from north of, the northern part of the United States into Canada, all the way into the lower south into Mexico, actually Mexico 25B. And in our paired zone, our district is leading the way with regards to membership growth. So everybody give yourself a round of applause, because that wouldn't be done without you and your support. And if I were to ask the question, whose responsibility is to help grow Rotary? Don't point to the membership chair in your club or the club president or one of the president-elects or the vice president, vice chair. It's each and every one of us. And when you want to make a real difference this year, whether you're the new member or a tenured member with over 40 plus years, when you extend that hand of friendship, you just never know if accepted and they become a member, where that would lead. And many of you have heard it, but Val Champion is a member of our Rotary Club of Los Fresnos. And he extended his hand of friendship to an individual who later become the RI president. So you don't know the trajectory these new members when you extend, and you're the face of Rotary within the community, and you have those spheres of influence. So we rely on you, each and every one of you. And when you got that passion and that energy and synergy, you just see that the engagement increases, and with engagement, there's a higher level of retention. It's not the other way around. It's through engagement that you have higher retention, and you're increasing your capacity to do.
And Andy H. Robert has his hand up.
All right, Robert, please go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Andy, and glad to see a couple of past district governors on the call. Thank you for y'all's service, and I really enjoy. I'm glad that these Zooms are happening. These are very productive, and I think y'all put a really well put together presentation, which is why there's probably very few questions. So I have one question for new members. What would be the number one tip that you would that would be good for us to share with new members if someone was to ask, what's the quickest way they could get involved with Rotary as a new member? And obviously, I'm not. It's always easy to say, well, we'll put you on this committee or that committee, but things that they could do to get the quickest return on investment as a Rotarian, as a brand new member.
That's a great question, Robert. And for me, when I internalize that question, if you would be able to join one of our or participate in one of our Rotary Leadership Institute training, it's 3 parts, parts 1, 2, and 3, and for a nominal investment of $50 per session. First, you learn a little bit more about what is Rotary, the different Rotary leadership styles and skills, and then it takes you into Rotary Foundation and every facet of Rotary at part 1. Part 2 builds on that and says, what is the Rotary Club's position and role and responsibilities within the big picture? And in the third, it's the international. So if I were to join and want to learn as much as I could as quickly as possible, I would invest that $150 and go through parts 1, 2, and 3. And we have several people on the call tonight that have gone through these. They could give their own testimonials. And I do have that I recognize here, Laura has recently graduated as a certified faculty trainer. So she's going to help facilitate for these types of sessions in the future. So that would be one way that I would suggest you get involved. And you might even inquire with your club, because some clubs help to offset or may even pay for that first experience, part one. So ask to see if there's a budget for that, and continually strive. Also visiting the learning center, you'll see a lot out there in order to bolster. It's, how do, I think members were challenged because there's so much out there to learn, and some of it's complex, but over time, over the span of time, you take it in manageable chunks, and you'll get there from here. And I think you'll get a better appreciation for what Rotary has to offer. And I think you're going to find that your Rotary journey and your experience is going to be that much more rewarding and fulfilling. Thank you for the question, Robert. Anyone else?
Robert, you asked, this is Kelly, you asked what new information you could share with prospective members from a new member perspective. Well, my mother always thought Rotary was a business, a business-based club. She didn't know it was a service club, and she's a Chicago girl. And I'm sure she stood on that street where that first comfort station was built. And so I just share that because it could be that people don't perceive us as an open, when I say open to males and females, and a non-business organization, but a service organization, where things like polio, which my great aunt Shirley contracted. And so it's the cause for me, it's the causes that we support that I was attracted to Rotary. Because I agree with all those community service areas. In fact, I was part of a polio vaccine when I lived overseas, a vaccine effort. My neighbor was a public service. She was in public health. She was head of public health of the country. And we had a couple of kids who had contracted polio, and she thought having an English speaking person go with her to try to get these last couple of kids vaccine would help. And it did. And I don't have pictures of that to remember it, but just this conversation about polio reminded me of that experience with Sukaina in Oman. So
Kelly, thank you for sharing. And we just want to welcome you and Georgine, your mother, both of you new members to the Kingsville, Rotary Club of Kingsville, that meet at noon in Kingsville. So thank you for sharing, and we thank you for your representations as well. And remember, I know Dr. Zara Sarani has always said, there's two reasons, two most important questions in our life. One is when we were born, the other is when we determine why we do what we do. And so I feel like this Rotary has given me that opportunity to make a difference in the lives of those we touch, and to also to network and visit with you. And I look at each and one of you as an extended part of our family. It's just many of you I haven't had a chance to meet yet formally, face to face. So thank you. Anyone else that might have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to comment based on Robert's question. From my perspective as a new member, something that the Victoria Rotary Club does well. So shout out to Victoria Rotary Club here. But having mentorship. So I think all of the points raised were very well placed. But I do think that having a mentor to kind of hold you to that skin in the game and keep you engaged and take your hand has been a big thing for me to get involved, because there's a lot of this I didn't even know existed, but having somebody to explain it to, that I can call for what would be perceived as dumb questions, but legitimate, has been very helpful to keep me engaged and get more hands-on with the organization.
Outstanding, and a great point there that you're raising, the mentorship and stewardship from the sponsor, and or because sometimes the sponsors, if they're moving and busy, whether it's the day-to-day their occupation and or the time constraints, someone in the club should be watching it again and helping our new members. It takes about 3 years to get really acclimated as to the expectations and becoming more comfortable with the roles and responsibilities. And again, we don't want to overburden new members with different tasks or assignments and roles. So be sure to be vocal about your passion and where your skills rely or reside, so that we can make that fit, the proper fit. I know in my case, my wife became a member because we took advantage in our club, the Rotary Club of Brownsville Sunrise. We took advantage of the family membership. We have our family membership, so there's a little bit of a price disparity or discount, if you will, for family members once you onboard your first member. And her passion is in literacy and education. And next thing you know, she's the head chair of the Youth Services Committee, which includes RILA. If there were to be youth exchange, it would include that. Early Act, which are the elementary school aged individuals, Interact from 12 and up, to Rotaract. So each of those components, and she's just excelled in each of those areas, but that's her passion. So look at that, what you have and what's important to you, and bring that forward to your club leadership. Bring that forward. Anyone else that might have a story to share and or any questions? We're coming close to the close. We've got about 5 minutes left.
So Andy, let me share, talking about Kelly, thank you for sharing your story about your mother. And we did have the polio motororo that goes around the district once a year on the polio month on the weekend, right? And I believe it was started back in our past district governor, Debbie Hyde's year. That was the first year that Mike Dickerson and started that. And, I asked him, like, you started this polio motor ride, but why polio? Why did you pick polio? Because there are so many other initiatives. And he said the best return on investment, because in polio, you raise $1, it becomes $3 because of the Bill Gates and Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation match. So he said that's best return on investment, because whatever amount we raise, it gets times 2, because they donate for every dollar we generate or donate, they donate $2 more. So the $1 becomes $3. So he said that's why he went with the polio initiative, because it's a best return on investment.
You're exactly right, Governor. And over the course of time and up till now, year to date, we've spent $2.1 billion with a B through Rotary members' contributions only, not the match. And again, you talk about Rotary changing lives. Well, in this case, saving lives, saving over 3 billion children from that deadly disease or maiming disease. So again, we're here till we see it through. Yes, Lucy, you have your hand raised. Oh, unmute. We need to unmute.
There it goes. I wanted to share with you what we're doing for polio in Laredo Gateway Rotary. I don't know if you can see the card here.
Yes.
It's a Domino's pizza, and it says pizza for polio. And then it has our little wheel there. I don't know if you could see it. Could you see it?
Yes, it's
Okay.
coming.
So what it is, what we they partner with us, and we bought 350 cards like this, and it was $1 each, and we're gonna sell them for $10. So we'll be raising like $3,250 for polio. So this is what we're doing. And the Domino's here, there's 7 in Laredo. So you can purchase up to 10 pizzas the whole year, So that's what we're doing for polio.
Fantastic. And there's clubs that do pints for polio. There's so many different
Yes.
ways. We just really love the creativity for your clubs that come up with these different ways to raise funds, raise awareness. I've had Interact clubs actually give up lunch money through the school. They give up their lunch money. They've raised $800 to $1,000 in over a course of 2 days, contributing it to the Rotary Foundation. So think of ways, think outside the box. These are great, great. Anyone else before we close for the evening? And if not, our team will stay on for a little bit longer after the 7 o'clock mark. But we want to thank you again for being here tonight. Remember that we offer this particular new member and sponsor orientation quarterly, but each month, on the 3rd Monday of each month, we will pick through the topics that we received as topics of interest during the district assembly. We'll touch upon some membership component, whether it's engagement, how to attract new members, the importance of my Rotary. There'll be different things that we're going to be presenting, and our next meeting will be on the 3rd Monday in November That'll be on November 18th. And we'll talk about why my Rotary and my Rotary account, and we'll go into more in depth. So again, we want to thank you for being here this evening. We will stay in tune. We want to give a shout out to our new members from Victoria, in the Victoria area. There was 7 of them here. So thank you for that. And we appreciate your support. And we are here as a district and district leadership to support you as well. So don't hesitate to make contact with through your assistant governor, anything that you might need in the area of membership, foundation, public imaging. We're here to support you at the district level. And I wanted to thank you, each and every one of you, for the time spent tonight. And with that, Debbie, any parting words?
It was great to be with you, and thank you for sharing. We appreciate your comments too. And again, as Dr. Z said, if you have any ideas for how we can even make this better, this is our second time to do this at the district level. So we're really excited about it. So far, the feedback's been great, but we made a few tweaks this time. So if there are other things, again, that you think at the district level we could share, because as Andy pointed out, this doesn't replace your orientation that you'll get at the club level. We'd love to hear from you.
Now, thank you, Debbie. Dr. Z, any parting words?
Thank you so much for being here, and encourage more members and your sponsors to attend the next one, because it's the more we grow, the better we get in serving our
We know
community
the
and beyond.
You're right. You're right. Well, thank you all, each and every one of you. I'll stay on, as well as Debbie. Andy, thank you again for the technical support. Anything that you'd like to say as we bid farewell? I think we're good. Thank you all.
Great seeing you.
See you next time. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Likewise.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey,
No,
Laura,
just-
¿cómo
Good to
estás?
see you, Lauren.
Hi.
Congratulations. Congratulations on your certification.
I know, I'm super excited.
Andy,
Yes.
Larry Jokel,
Hey, Larry, go ahead.
question. Can we get a copy of everything we're doing tonight? Because we have what is known as a new member fireside chat. And
Yes,
this would be
absolutely.
perfect for them.
Absolutely. We're recording it and we'll put it out on a YouTube with a link. And Andy's going to be helping work on that. Andy Z.
Okay, well, Andy and I can get together with that one in a heartbeat. He's around the corner.
Yes.
And also, we've been sharing the a PDF of the PowerPoint too.
Yes, we can
Okay.
send the PowerPoint.
Thank
That's
Governor,
you.
Emily.
Thank everyone. You all are great.
Bye.
And we'll see you later.
Good
Thanks,
night.
Lucy.
Lucy, thank you for
Governor, you
joining us.
still there?
Ann, for taking time out of your busy day.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am.
Gov-
Thank you very much. Robert, thank you. Helen, president for one of the largest clubs, the largest club in our district. Thank you for being here. Marcia.
You guys, that was great. I liked your tweets, Debbie, and I learned something new every time I'm
Oh,
on this.
thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ellen. We do too, preparing for it. So that's the fun part.
Robert, thank you for contributing to the Guatemala Kitchen Project. I think you should add that to the presentation, how our district helps each other with the projects. He passed the hat and put $329 to the Guatemala Kitchen Project. Great idea. Thank you,
Wow.
Robert.
Outstanding work, Robert.
Nice.
Thank you.
Governor Larry Jokel, if you're still there, I will be texting you or emailing you in the next couple of days in regards to our 50th.
All
Something
right.
you and I have talked about briefly.
Correct. Yes.
So, and I do
Exciting.
appreciate all the assistance you're going to bestow upon us. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you.
Forward
Take
to
care.
that.
Great
And
meeting, y'all. Andy, you're doing great.
Thank
Thank
you all.
you.
Thank you.
We
Couldn't be done
had
without the
we
team
had
here.
the guy donate custom shirts last week at our meeting, and I charged people $5 to buy a raffle ticket. For a chance at the 2 shirts, we raised $905.
Nice.
Way to go.
So that was, the shirts were very popular, I guess.
That is great. That's
Y'all
great.
take
Okay,
care.
bye,
Andy,
guys. I'll
thank
see you.
you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thanks,
night, Larry.
Larry.
Thank you all. And we'll be soon off and running. I've got to meet Mary McQueen in Harlingen. We're going to go to the Texas Road